Welcome back to the channel. This will be, I'll have this one be Layout Discussion Episode 2, the Batavia Train Show Purchases. Sunday, October 17th was the Batavia Train Show put on by the Genesee Society of Model Engineers at the Batavia campus of Genesee Community College. I had intended on spending more money than I ended up spending, but a combination of other expenses and getting there late reduced what I spent considerably. The show went from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., which was difficult to get there before they closed. I was awake at 11 a.m., but with getting ready and then a couple stops on the way to Batavia, which is 30 to 40 minutes from Silver Springs, we arrived at GCC just before 3 p.m. The good part about this was we got in for half price because there was only 30 minutes left and vendors were already starting to pack up. I walked in after paying our $6 admission and looked around the 24,000 square foot field house of the Richard C. Call Arena to find the best table to start with, trying to see anything other than trinkets, books, and Lionel boxes. The second row I found what I was looking for, 2 to 3 tables full of blue box and similar. I spent the next 20 minutes looking at the rolling stock there, which was all either Atherton Blue Box or similar aged companies with the exception of 1 or 2 pieces. These are the tables you need to find when you're on a budget. And with limited time, I wanted to get as much as I could for what I had to spend, and I ended up getting far more than I expected with half the money I had in my wallet. This is a show that's worth traveling to get to. You won't see many layouts, but the 24,000 square foot arena is filled with tables, about 5 to 6 rows that run down the length of the arena with only a couple cross paths. There was a switching layout, and hello, Z. That's the other cat. Keep moving. There was a switching layout and a couple other layouts, I think, that were running, but I just glanced at them as I walked to the table I had seen. I had a mission and had little time to accomplish it. The vendor was talking to a guy, so I took my time looking at the build dates on everything. The goal was to get mostly rolling stock that would fit the 1920 to 1960 era that the BR&P B&O layout will be, which was a little difficult, but not too difficult. He had a lot that was built between 1920 and 1960. I should have bought more because I ended up not buying any rolling stock at any other table. The 20 minutes I spent at the table was time the vendors were using to pack up their tables. I was practically the only customer left buying as vendors were packing up, talking about their sales and stuff. After I made my purchase, I went to a table across the arena that had new Intermountain and Atlas rolling stock, which is way outside what I would have preferred to pay. But I fully intended on buying stuff from the table, and had found more than enough that I needed to finish off my budget. However, the vendor wasn't even at the table, and neither vendor on either side had any idea who had the table. I waited a full 15 minutes. Everyone else was packing up, and this vendor hadn't even appeared to start packing up. I remember the last show, it was the same. I had looked at the display for 20 minutes that year, and there was absolutely no one around. My mom said we should wait, but I told her no. He couldn't be bothered to attend his table. I wasn't going to spend money at it, and left. While we were leaving, I did come across another table that I saw blue boxes on, but they were packing up, and I didn't want to look at stuff as it was being packed up. Besides, it was 3:45, and I wanted to get going. I did stop at another table that had some books and made a couple purchases there before he left. He also had some rolling stock, but he was packing that up, so I only glanced at the boxes as I was paying for the books. Next year, I will hopefully have more time to get a couple bags of stuff. But what did I get? Well, here is the bag, and it is mostly full. You can see how full it is. It's up to there, and that's a good-sized paper bag. I would have only been able to fit 4 more boxes in this bag. I will start with my last purchases, which were the 2 books, and then go from cheapest to most expensive on rolling stock. Many of these pieces of rolling stock are already weathered. My plan was to get some very cheap cards that I wasn't going to use on layouts for my brother to practice HO scale graffiti on, but I didn't have time to do that this year. Hopefully next year I'll have more time and also find some. First, I will do the books. This book is the Guide to North American Cabooses put out by Trains Books, which is a division of Combat Media. This was written by Carl R. Byron and Don Heimberger. It has probably every caboose in it, including this B&O I-5 wood caboose, which is the type of caboose I probably need for the B&O layout. It has transfer cabooses. and has the combination cabooses that Jason has talked about, like the CB&Q combination coach baggage caboose for branch line service, and a turn of the page reveals the cotton belt version. Allergies. It covers cabooses built from boxcars also, like this Western Pacific one down here. And on this page is Georgia Railroad and Santa Fe versions. Here is the Great Northern stretched baggage caboose. It has so much information on cabooses, and I would totally recommend you find a copy. Now, this book is for modeling. Let me find a place to put this. There we go. I was looking at 2 books on wiring DCC, which were different prices. I compared the 2, and this one was cheaper and had the stuff in it that I needed out of the other book. Basic DCC wiring for your model railroad. I haven't looked through this outside of the show, but with this and videos on YouTube, I should be able to figure out wiring. First, for rolling stock, my $3 purchases. I got 4 cars for $3 each, and here is the first one. This is a 40-foot boxcar with single sliding doors. I took this out of the box and fixed the one door which had come off, and as you can see, this one, they slide right off. There's nothing to stop them from sliding off, which is a little bit of a problem, but I can probably fix that. This is in a model power box, but I'm not sure if it's actually model power or the box was just convenient. As you can see, it's already weathered. Maybe. There you can see it's already weathered. That's not weathered that much, but it has plastic wheels, but I don't think I'm going to replace them because they also are weathered. It has a build date of May 1957, so mostly goes with the B&O layout. Next is this Pennsylvania 40-foot boxcar. This is in a model power box, but a look at the bottom reveals Hotco as the manufacturer. Plus the box under the tape says it's road number 24062, and this is 71471. This was built in March 1956 and goes with the B&O layout mostly. The other one was built in May 1957. I think I forgot to say that. Another model power box, but again, the car is not model power. This March 1927 built C&O coal hopper is actually a Roco and has a homemade coal load, which gives the car substantial weight with the load in. C&O 85026 will be used in the B&O layout to deliver coal to the elevator factory and the lumber yard. But lastly, we have this AHM box with Boston and Maine 77711, another 40-foot boxcar. This also is weathered. And quite well. Built July 1956, this would fit in the B&O layout, but also these cars could appear in the 1980 to present era layout as well, as they would have been retired in the 90s. Next, we go to $4 purchases, which there are 2 of. This one actually does definitely go with the box. It's a Mantua, and the description on the end matches the box. NYC 90718 has the early bird logo, early bird fast freight service logo. This might not have been on the B&O, but for $4 and a build date of June 1957, it is going to be used in that layout. Unfortunately, the floor likes to move up into the body, which I think I'll have to remedy with some styrene on the inside of the body. Simple fix. This is a Concore box, but since the package is modified, to fit the box, I think it's safe to say it's not a Concore model. The bottom only says Made in USA. B&O 017 has a build date of April 1969, so it is for the big layout being built after the B&O Warsaw Industrial Branch was abandoned. Unfortunately, it has a brake wheel broken off, but it is in the box. Now the other cat walks across. Keep moving! Keep moving! Ah. Hang on. Cameos by both cats. And she knocked down my mouse, so I had to fix that. Now to the $8 purchases. There are 6 of these, mostly Ather and blue boxes, but not all go with those boxes. This first one does go with the box. DLNW 47,000 is actually the Bev Bell Corp upgrade on the Ather and blue box kits. It was evidently marked up by $1.50, but still $8 is cheaper than you often find blue boxes with horn hooks still, and these all have knuckle couplers. With a build date of January 1929, this is a B&O layout piece, and this thing is heavy, and I mean heavy. This feels like it weighs about a pound. And there is this, and here is a sister to it, also quite heavy, DLNW 47010, which also is a Bev Bell upgrade from the blue box. This is not very weathered, so it will be used closer to its build date of January 1929. Next is another maybe blue box, B&O 23363, with a build date of December 1929. Will be used in the B&O layout. Get in there. Coming in fourth is this 40-foot flat car. Erie 74286. This is not a blue box. The coupler box is wrong. This is a screw, while blue box, the bottom of the box clips in, but I don't see a manufacturer on the bottom or anything. This has a broken stirrup, which is right here. It's in the box, which I'll have to glue, but this has some nice weathering on the deck. Look at that. That is nice. In fifth place is this supposed Ather and blue box coal hopper B&O 532000, which has a build date of March 27. This has the blue box style coupler boxes, but the bottom opens, which I don't think would have been a detail on blue box models. See that? All those open. Nicely weathered except for the visual brush strokes, it's good enough. I might re-weather this someday to not have brush strokes on it. And sixth or last of the $8 purchases is this. The box is roundhouse, but what is inside is not a roundhouse car. This NAHX 90404 is leased to Corning Glassworks, which is to be an industry on the big layout. So this is for that layout. The chutes are similar to the ones used for plastic pellets, but I would say this car is supposed to carry glass pellets or something like that, however, glass beads or... To Corning, it has a build date of May 1970. As I said, it's not a roundhouse, it's actually a Bachmann. It looks nice, but unfortunately has a problem. Likely from putting it in a box that it doesn't fit, and it's too long for. The coupler box on this end is broken. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I don't think you can. Maybe you can. The coupler pushed right to the side will not return to straight on its own. I probably can fix this with styrene or replace the coupler box altogether. The couplers are missing their springs, so they will have to be replaced. They won't return to normal, and then one trip pin is turned sideways. which is that one. It's completely sideways. Now to my most expensive purchase for rolling stock, and this one I got just to make someone happy. This is an LBF company model. That replicates a 52-foot mill gondola built October 1975 for the Erie Lackawanna, but it's not in that paint. No, it's in Conrail with the Conrail quality logo next to the CR 587517 lettering. So Sparky, I now have a Conrail model, but this will certainly not be the last Conrail model I get. I estimate eventually I'll have 1,000 Conrail pieces, counting cars and locomotives. This was $20, the most expensive thing. So these are 13, I think I counted 13 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 cars. One was $20, so 12 of those were $68. $88 for all of them. So that is what I got at the Batavia Train Show, and yes, it is Batavia, not Batavia or Batavia, Batavia. Total, I spent $36 plus tax on the 2 books and $88 for the 13 cars, which is definitely a good haul, especially for getting the show so late. I have over $150 left to spend in the next show. They used to do this show twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. I don't know if they will have a show in spring 2022, but this is a show it would be worth making the trip if you can next time. As I said, it is in the 24,000 square foot field house at GCC and is mostly vendors selling a lot of stuff. Often occupying almost an entire row. Where I got these cars, he with another guy. He partners together and had an entire row of tables filled with these cars, about 20 feet long on 2 levels, plus more on the floor. I did go to Harbor Freight intending on buying the 5 to 50 watt soldering station they had on their website and supposedly had in store. However, they only had cheap 30-watt soldering irons and soldering guns. Since the suggested wattage I found after a day of trying to find out what wattage I needed for wiring track was 40 watt, evidently wouldn't work. So I will probably have to buy that online and have it shipped, which I didn't want to pay shipping, but if they don't have it in store, I have no choice. I picked up a new flashlight, which is this Quantum tactical flashlight, which is 588 lumens and has a range of 538 feet. It can shine beyond the back of my property, adjust between ultra-focused and floodlight, plus can strobe. It hits the same or similar to the lights used by the police, which I've always wanted. My 250 lumen mag lights haven't worked in a couple of years. My other flashlight is only 50 lumens, which doesn't show much if I'm looking around my yard after dark or if the power goes out. I also went rail fanning, which that will probably be a separate video because this is kind of long, so I probably can't tag that footage onto the end of this video. I checked the mail to see if anyone who did buy something off my wish list. I haven't seen it. The links to those will be put in the description after I upload this if you want to, and they will always be added just in case, though I probably won't mention them. Anything you choose to buy would be appreciated. It will make my projects go much faster. If you don't want to, I won't be mad at you. With these purchases, I think my collection has surpassed 50 pieces and will cost me under $500 together. Maybe under $400, which is great, especially when you have a very small budget. I definitely picked the right table to go to and be looking for this guy next show. See you at this time. I am stopping the video and going to watch The Flying Crow for On Track Tuesday. So when you see this, you'll have already seen it. You'll have already seen me there.